Does Shanks have a twin? What is Dragon's secret that he's confirmed to have in his Viva card? What is Shanks' true intentions within the story of One Piece? And was Dragon friends with Gold D Roger? Shanks and Dragon are two of the most mysterious characters within One Piece, with both of them having more screen time post Wano compared to every other arc put together beforehand. Would it be screen time or would it be page time, I wonder? We'll say page time, it sounds cooler. But let's dive into these two characters and some theories behind them and find out a bit about their past and their present and potentially their future within the story. We'll start off with Dragon, the leader of the Revolutionary Army, the world's most wanted man. Dragon is the son of Monkey D. Garp, the hero of the Marines, but directly goes against his father's organization. Why? Are his actions simply goaded by the things he's seen of the world? Did he go through something in the past that made him dislike the world government and the way of thinking? I think there are a lot of possibilities, but I think there are two highly likely theories. Dragon is a celestial dragon, or at least highly associated with them, with him being born in Goa Kingdom, of which nobles are from, like Sabo. It's stated in his Viva card he has a secret about his past, but his subordinates would still follow him if they knew what it was. Now, why would this hold significance if it didn't relate to his current goal, standing, and philosophy within the story? The Revolutionary Army are a force made to liberate the world from the strict rule of the world government, so a secret of Dragon being associated with the Celestial Dragons makes complete sense. This would also explain what made him want to rebel against the world government, with him being surrounded by rich people buying and making other people slaves. Now I won't confine him into the possibility of just being a Celestial Dragon, with then few new characters being introduced into the story that seem like a real threat. And this was in the most recent One Piece chapter 1083, so spoilers ahead. The Holy Knights. They seem to be exceptionally strong individuals working for the government that Dragon has acknowledged as a major threat. But maybe Dragon was a Holy Knight himself, with one of the two of them in the front of the panel that Oda showed, looking oddly similar to Dragon, and him being the only person to mention them within the story, hinting that he has some inside information, and I wonder how. This silhouette could be him thinking back to his time as a Holy Knight and who was with him. One of the last things I'll speak on with Dragon are his ties with Gold D Roger. He was one of the very few people that has importance within the story that was at Roger's execution, and there is slight proof that he was befriended to him in a way. Flashback to the Ed War. Shiki has told Roger to join him so that they can conquer the world together, and Roger has refused. He's surrounded by Shiki's fleet, and now things seem very impossible for Roger in this situation, until a miraculous wind hit Shiki's fleet and avoided Roger's ship, which deterred battle from happening and keeping Roger in safety. And there's only been one person we've seen manipulate wind unnaturally in the story like that, and that's Dragon himself. Now you're thinking, how could they have met? Flashback to the God Valley incident. What if while Roger was defending God Valley from Rox D Zebex, he also came across a Holy Knight by the name of Monkey D Dragon. Dragon was around 30 at the time of Roger's execution, and the God Valley incident was around 14 years before this. We've also never heard of any feats for Dragon himself, so would his title of the world's most wanted man be justified if he was an ex-Holy Knight who also fights directly against the government? I also have a slight theory of Dragon not being Garp's true son and instead being his son-in-law, with Garp never claiming Dragon as his son, but instead Luffy's father, and instead Dragon bears the name of Rox, which is why he took the name Monkey D, because Rox D, going around the world with that name, bro. I don't know how you're gonna cope. As well as this, Dragon most likely has the Rain God fruit that was spoken about on Skypiea, just like Luffy has the Sun God fruit, so it would be so fitting for the father and son to have two of the God fruits within One Piece. That would just be... But now onto Akagami no Shanks. Now Shanks is great as we all know, but what does this man want? I've said in a previous video, the strength of people's hockey is often better based on their dreams and ambitions. So what does he dream for besides the One Piece, since everyone else wants the One Piece to help with other goals? But I think Shanks is actually using Luffy. As shown in the recent One Piece chapter, Buggy expected Shanks to lead the next generation and become king of the pirates, but Shanks decided to wait. What is something else that people have had to wait for or been too early for? Especially Gold D Roger, claiming the One Piece. It seems as though the One Piece can only be truly accessed by Joy Boy, hence why Roger couldn't claim it, and Shanks went out of his way to steal the Sun God Nika fruit from the government. This indicates he knows of some importance of the fruit, with Shanks saying to Whitebeard that he bet his arm on the creation of a new age, and it also being stated that Joy Boy would create a new era within the world. It would be far from crazy to think that Shanks had predicted Luffy would be Joy Boy from when he was a kid, hence him betting his arm and saving Luffy's life on the fact that Luffy would be the one to create a new era and be Joy Boy. As well as this, with Shanks hearing the same words uttered by his very own captain from Luffy, and then handing down the straw hat gifted to him from that very same captain, saying he knows Luffy will be big in the future. It makes complete sense. I wouldn't be surprised if Shanks telling Luffy to become a great pirate was him simply goading him to fulfill his potential. And you can't tell me there was not some sort of mischievous intent behind this smile when Shanks saw Luffy's 1.5 billion bounty. All of this comes full circle with Shanks telling Ben Beckman it's about time to claim the One Piece, straight after Joy Boy had awakened. And also having a crew that doesn't have a single Devil Fruit user, showing he's aware of the possibility of Devil Fruit users being unable to enter Laugh Tale. Shanks could simply be using Luffy to either help him or using him to access the One Piece for himself. But Oda did state we don't know if Shanks is friend or foe, so it's entirely possible that instead of using Luffy, Shanks was simply pioneering the new era and making way for Luffy and helping him develop. This is shown in One Piece thread when Shanks is speaking to Uta and he says a new era is coming, and the camera cuts to Luffy. And of course we have, as I said, him speaking to Whitebeard and saying that he bet his arm on a new age. But why would Shanks be doing this? This could all be to actualize his captain Roger's goal, since Shanks looked up to him so much and Luffy and Roger seem to have the same dream, but at the same time Luffy seems to be the only one that can achieve it out of the two, since Joy Boy is needed to access the One Piece and One Piece seems to be needed to achieve the goal. This dream obviously holds sentimentality towards Shanks, seeing as when Luffy said the dream that Roger said, it brought a tear to his eye, showing how much he cared for his captain and his dream. This would also explain why Shanks passed on Roger's hat that Roger gave to him to give the hat to the person that would achieve Roger's goal. This would make sense seeing as all the wearers of the hat would have had a hand to play in achieving this goal. This would explain why Shanks didn't go and claim the One Piece straight away, and why Buggy said he wouldn't be the next generation's Pirate King. So instead of wanting to become the Pirate King himself, he wants to lead the person that should be Pirate King to the One Piece. Shanks is also likely a celestial dragon, with him being found on Roger's ship in a treasure chest by Rayleigh and Roger from God Valley. But with the reveal of the Holy Knight and another one looking awfully similar to him just like Dragon, now this could be because Shanks was one himself, which would explain how we got an audience with the Gorosei and how he could get Sengoku and Akainu to lose the will to fight at Marineford. But what if he actually had a twin that was part of the Holy Knights? Oda was asked in the past if Shanks had a brother/twin and the answer was censored. Oda has shown in the past he will answer questions if they're just plain wrong, like he did for the theories about Zoro's dad being in Wano. The Holy Knights seem to wear capes just like Shanks and Dragon do, but so did this person who went to meet the elders. Is it coincidental the other half of his face where Shanks' scar was supposed to be was not shown with that meeting? Or how Shanks could get to Marineford so soon after intercepting Kaido? Even before the meeting with the Gorosei, Shanks was somewhere looking at Luffy's bounty and all of a sudden, boom, he's at Marijois. There's also a scene of Shanks and Whitebeard and he says that the scar he got from that guy aches whenever he looks at Shanks' face. Now in this situation, what's stopping Whitebeard from saying the name Gold D Roger or even Blackbeard? But as we all know, Blackbeard does not have the balls to stab Whitebeard so blatantly. And as well as this, his weapon has 3 claws as shown with the scar on Shanks. This looks like a scar made by a sword. And who else seems to wield a sword? I don't know, probably the Holy Knight that looks like Shanks? Some people are speculating that the redhead pirates are the Holy Knights, but this complicates so much. Like Shanks stealing the Gum Gum fruit directly from the Navy, having such high bounties, etc. So it makes sense that this individual that went to meet with the Gorosei wasn't Shanks, hence why he wasn't arrested on the spot. When you look at the duality of these two scenes, it seems very likely, especially with Shanks' scarred side often being shown whenever he's spoken about. Now I'm just like having dreams, bro, of like Luffy seeing this Shanks clone or twin or whatever, and he's like, Shanks! And it's not him, and then the clone goes to fight Luffy, and Luffy's so like just flabbergasted, and then somewhere along the way, bro, Shanks jumps in and he's like, I got here in time, Luffy, or so. I'm getting goosebumps, bro. But there is a high possibility of these things I've spoken about in the video. I just spat. I think that was visible too. Of course, some things are more likely than others, but I can't wait to learn more about these Holy Knights. What is Oda cooking? But all the algorithm nonsense. Follow for more, subscribe, blah, 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 like, something.